This could be the fastest violation in the history of intervention, all-time record. What the hell's wrong with you? You're a bad bullshitter. Don't bullshit. Okay. Question is, when is the last time you used cocaine? You know when it was, so goddamn it, tell me what it was.
Yes, sir.
You're using cocaine at work.
Yeah, I understand, but
No wonder why you're motivated to be there.
So I was lacking purpose in my life, and I was feeling
you found purpose in cocaine.
Judge O'Donnell seems to attract cokeheads to his court, and boy does he like to bust their chops. His ears are finely tuned bullshit detectors, and he has no shortage of customers feeding his ears, steaming piles of it. This guy is no different, except he holds the distinction of being the fastest ever to break Judge O'Donnell's probation. The ink wasn't even dry, literally. Judge O'Donnell, despite constantly swearing like a drunken sailor in open court, is one of the most lenient judges I watch. Let's see how much this dingus tests the judge's patience. Let's roll it.
We're here on June 18th, which is 8 days ago. You left here, you went over to probation. There was a suspicion that you were under the influence of drugs, and then you admitted that to Nicole Newman. So this was reset for today. What the hell's wrong with you? You sat here 8 days ago and gave me this song and dance that hanging around the wrong people or some bullshit like that. And you hadn't used for a long time. The job was great and you were getting focused. And I asked you a question during the course of the plea if you'd used drugs or alcohol in the last 48 hours, and you told me no. So that's why I asked that question. What the hell's wrong with you?
I apologize, sir. I
don't want your apology. I want to know why you're doing what you're doing.
Well, I clearly have an issue. I mean, I'm not making...
What's the issue?
My use of cocaine. And it's only cocaine, but, you know...
Well, see, now, here's the problem.
Yes.
Why would I believe anything you tell me from this point forward?
I understand.
Well, you may understand or you may not understand, but why would I believe anything you say from this point forward?
You don't have any reason to.
That's right. So, when did you last use cocaine?
I believe it's been within the last 4 days.
I know it's been within the last 4 days. I'm certain it wasn't 4 days ago.
Okay.
So why don't you tell me, don't tell me what you believe, tell me when you, the question was, when did you last use cocaine?
It's been within 3 days.
Okay. See, that doesn't answer the question either.
Yeah.
The question is, when did you last, you're a bad bullshitter. Don't bullshit. Okay.
Yeah.
The question is, when is the last time you used cocaine? You know when it was. So, goddamn it, tell me what it was.
Yes, sir. Today is Thursday. It would have been Tuesday.
Is that a question or an answer?
That is an answer.
Tuesday when?
Afternoon.
Where?
At work.
At work.
Yes, sir.
Where'd you get it from?
Someone I know in my hometown.
Okay. Who did you get it from?
Do you need a name specifically?
You see, here we go.
Okay. I'm asking, sir.
No, I'm asking you.
Yes.
And you're evading me. Okay. The question was, who did you get it from? That's a very specific question with only one answer. The answer is the name of the person you got it from.
His name is Bryant.
What?
Bryant is the first name.
Bryant.
Yes, sir.
All right. Is he like Pele? He only goes by one name?
Bryant Thompson.
Bryant Thompson.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how do you know Bryant Thompson?
Just through mutual friends.
Which friends?
I believe I met him through my barber. My barber ended up giving me his name years ago.
Why?
For that use.
Okay. How many years ago?
3.
What are you going to do about your drug problem?
Well, like you said, I know you don't have reason to believe me, but I am motivated with my work schedule and keeping my.
But you're using cocaine at work.
Yeah, I understand, but it's.
No wonder why you're motivated to be there.
But I understand how it's affected my job, and my performance is lower when I do, and I don't want it to affect that.
Okay,
Any
so
longer.
what are you going to do about it?
I'm going to quit use, and I'm going to seek more help. I have, I don't know a name yet, but my mother knows a counselor through church who she's going to try to help me get
What
in contact.
church?
It's called Grace Fellowship in Niles, Ohio.
Didn't you go through some treatment program before?
I did.
What was that?
So that was through the Niles court, and to be honest, it was just it was not very in depth. It wasn't super helpful, I don't think, for me.
Why didn't you go to one that was more in depth and more helpful?
I should have.
I know. Why didn't you? Because you didn't want to. Okay, because you liked getting high, right?
Yes, sir.
This could be the fastest violation in a history of intervention. An all-time record. Who's your boss over there at Verizon?
His name is Andrew Nelson.
Does he know you're getting high at work?
I don't believe so. He might suspect.
Did he ever say anything to you?
He hasn't.
That doesn't seem like a very good place to work.
I know I don't represent them well, but it honestly is a very great place to work. And not represented well by me, I understand that.
Where did you work before that?
I was a supervisor at UPS for 6 years.
You were using it then too, right?
Not the entire time, the last like 2 years of my work there, yes, I was.
Was there something, what drugs did you use before cocaine?
Slight marijuana and drinking casually, just with, on weekends. But nothing ever to the extent that I have when I started using cocaine.
So, and you're how old now?
32, almost 33.
So when you were 28 or 29, you started using cocaine?
Correct.
For the sake of this discussion, I'm going to believe what you're telling me, okay? So is there some reason you went through your first 28 years without using cocaine and decided, shit, what a great idea it would be to get hooked on cocaine? Is there something that prompted that?
I wish I had a really good answer for that, but I don't.
Well, what is the answer? Give me the shitty answer.
The shitty is I was lacking purpose in my life, and I was
And
feeling
you
it
found
was.
purpose in cocaine.
No, it made me wander off more.
Did you think it was going to give you purpose in life?
I don't know what I was thinking when I did it, to be 100% honest with you.
How much does cocaine cost these days?
It's expensive. I mean, a gram is like $100, and they go fast.
We actually didn't do an entry on this, right? So I haven't sentenced him yet, or I haven't made the final determination yet as to what the terms of your intervention. They ain't the same as they were 8 days ago, I'll tell you that. Because you have no ability to control your habit. Do you think you have the ability to control your habit?
I did for several months, and then I made one bad decision.
Which months?
So from February up until about 2 weeks ago, I was clean because I was doing that Travco program where I was testing clean.
The what?
I was doing a drug program in Warren out of the Niles court called Travco, where I was being tested.
How do I know that?
I don't know how to. I mean, I was doing it through the Niles for the Niles court.
Okay, how do I know that?
You don't.
Right.
You don't.
That's the problem when you start lying to me.
I understand.
And then this entire time, I don't believe anything you're telling.
I understand.
Okay, so let's, again, for the sake of our discussion, assume that you have been testing in Niles court. And further assume that it had been negative. So for several months, you weren't using.
Correct.
And then when the program was done, you immediately figured, well, I ain't getting tested no more, I'll start using again. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have no control over that issue. Because if you had control over it, you wouldn't have went back to using.
Correct.
Correct. So you think going to some counselor at some church you don't belong to that your mother suggested is the solution to your problem?
Not the end all be all. I think it could aid, it could help. but I understand it's not the solution. It's not going to fix everything.
Why don't you find the solution?
Okay.
What does that mean? The question is, why don't you find the solution? Did you ever think maybe the solution to your problems might be found in the pursuing of the solution to your problem?
Yes.
No, you didn't. Ms. Tomaszek, anything you'd like to say?
Just briefly, Your Honor, since Mr. Weber technically wasn't sentenced, I would just like to ask the court to allow him one more opportunity to do the intervention in lieu of conviction with, I do believe Mr. Weber needs much more treatment than he sets out. So we would just like to ask the court to allow him one more chance at the intervention in lieu and maybe a little more stricter conditions, Your Honor. Thank you.
What in your telephone under what's the contact information you have for Bryant?
I would have to pull out my phone in order to, you mean the actual number?
No, just pull out. Tell me when you go to. What's he under? Thompson?
Correct. Did you want me to do that, sir?
No.
Okay.
I just want to know what it was under. I mean, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to delete it.
I would do that right now if you want me to, sir.
All right. The terms that were put on the record that not yet adopted by judgment entry on June 18th are rescinded. That's where you were placed on the 1-year plan with 2 days in jail, no drugs or alcohol, full employment. So the new terms, you're going to stay on the intervention, 4-year plan, 47 days in jail with credit for 2. The last 30 days, you're going to be in the jail treatment program and complete it and follow all recommendations. You're going to get a mental health evaluation, follow all the recommendations. You're to have no drugs or alcohol and you'll be screened. You attend at least 3 AA or NA meetings a week and get a sponsor. Obtain and maintain full employment, pay the costs and supervision fees. Ms. Randallson, any other terms of the plan?
No, Your Honor.
You understand the terms of the plan?
I believe so.
Is there anything you don't understand?
Does that mean I go to jail?
Yes, it does. You don't seem to think you have a problem,
I understand.
or you seem to think that you have a problem that you can manage all by yourself, and you can't. You're not even close. That's what it is. And like I told you last time, if you violate, the state will file a motion to terminate, and the next time I'll just terminate it. And then you'll have a felony conviction. When you go to find a job, you can tell them you have a felony conviction, and they'll probably ignore you. So that's one alternative. The other alternative is you can attempt to get your act together, and then you can find your purpose and not run in and out of courtrooms the rest of your life. Mr. Knopf, anything? Mr. Knopf, anything else?
Just how many days jail was it? 35?
47.
Is there
Credit
to?
2.
Okay, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoy watching this content, please like and subscribe. It helps new channels like this one gain exposure. There is a lot more good court to come, so if you like what you saw, tell your friends. If you didn't, tell me, and let me know what you'd like to see and how I can improve. Thanks.